Ever feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes it's just so many new AI tools popping up all the time, right? Each one's like, oh, this is going to revolutionize how you work, how you create. It's kind of overwhelming, honestly.
I completely agree. It's like drinking from a fire hose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to keep up and figure out which ones are actually worth your time.
Totally. And that's exactly why we're here today on the deep dive, ready to kind of cut through all that noise.
Yeah.
We're focusing on three specific AI assistants that are getting a lot of buzz. They're called Genius.AI Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, and then there's Heartbeat AI.
You've pulled together some really interesting stuff on each of these, and yeah, our mission today is to really unpack them. What do they actually do? What are they best at? By the time we're done here, you should have a much clearer idea of which one, if any, is the right fit for you.
For sure. And, looking at the information you shared, it lays out the features, the benefits, even some real-world applications. Pretty comprehensive stuff.
Yeah, I tried to cover all the bases.
Awesome. Okay, so let's jump right in. First up, we've got Genius.AI Copilot. Even the name kind of hints at, like, creativity. Everything you've given me about it really does point to it being a powerful tool for, like, making better content, really good content.
That's a great observation. Yeah, Genius.AI Copilot, it really shines when it comes to the writing process, like helping you get those words down, making sure they're clear, engaging. Think articles, emails, even social media posts. It's almost like having a built-in writing partner plus a really good editor right there in your software.
And it's not just about starting from scratch, right?
Right.
It also has features for brainstorming,
Right.
which I got to tell you, that's where I personally struggle sometimes, like just that blank page staring back at you.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it can like automate some of those more routine suggestions for improvement, which honestly, that's such a time saver. All designed to be super user-friendly too.
Absolutely. User friendliness is key. And to really see how powerful this thing is, let's look at some examples. You mentioned bloggers, right? Imagine you're writing a post about, say, how to improve your sleep quality.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh.
Always looking for tips on that
All
myself.
right. So Genius.AI Copilot, it can jump in and suggest, key points you might want to cover, like maybe the importance of a consistent sleep schedule, right? Or the benefits of a relaxing bedtime routine, avoiding screens before bed, all that good stuff.
Okay, that's helpful already.
And then it goes further. It can actually help you write an engaging introduction, a strong conclusion. It can even suggest those catchy subheadings that make your post, easier and more enjoyable to read.
Wow. See, those little things make a big difference. I mean, I know how much easier it is to read something when it's well organized like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is just one example. Think about email marketing, something so many businesses rely on. Let's say you're promoting a sale in your online shop. Well, Genius.ai can actually help you draft the entire email. Compelling language, designed to get people clicking.
That's cool.
And it can even generate different subject line options for you to test. Like you had one example in your notes, get 20% off your next purchase, limited time only.
Oh, yeah, versus like, don't miss out, sale ends tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different vibes, different urgency, and then it'll even suggest a strong call to action, that buy now button or whatever's appropriate.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. Makes you think twice about just, banging out an email real quick.
It's all about maximizing your impact. And it's not just for marketing. Think about students. They're often struggling with those big, complex essays. Imagine a student writing about, say, climate change and its impact. A very timely topic.
Definitely a challenging one, too.
Absolutely. So Genius.ai can help them organize their thoughts. It can suggest key arguments, improve sentence clarity, even recommend relevant sources for their research. It's like having a dedicated academic tutor right there in their computer.
So really, if I'm hearing you correctly, Genius.AI Copilot is kind of like a content creation powerhouse, especially for people who write a lot. Bloggers, students, marketers, anyone who needs to put words together in a compelling way.
That's a great summary.
All right, so let's move on to our next AI assistant, Microsoft Copilot. Now this one, I feel like the name kind of gives it away a little. It's very much tied into the whole Microsoft world, right?
Right on. Microsoft Copilot, it's all about being deeply integrated into the Microsoft 365 suite. Those tools so many of us use every single day. It's like having a super smart assistant that works across all those apps.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about how that actually plays out.
Well, think about Excel, right? The land of spreadsheets. Copilot can help you with formulas, can do data analysis, create charts, all those things that can be, pretty time-consuming, even if you're good with Excel.
Oh, I can see that being super helpful.
And then there's Word. Imagine you're writing a report, a proposal, whatever it is. Copilot can offer suggestions for your content, help you improve your writing, make sure the document is well structured.
Okay, so it's kind of like that editor we were talking about with Genius.AI,
Yeah.
but specifically for Word documents.
That's a good way to think about it. And then, get this, it can even help you create PowerPoint presentations. Like, you give it a basic outline, some key points, and it'll actually build the slides for you.
Wow, that's pretty wild. PowerPoint is definitely one of those things that can take forever.
It can, and with Copilot, it becomes much more efficient. And then, of course, there's Outlook, our beloved email. Copilot can help you draft replies, manage your inbox, all that stuff that can feel overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, email is a beast sometimes.
It really can be. So the key here is that Copilot is all about making those core Microsoft 365 apps even more powerful and efficient.
That makes sense. Now, I'm really curious to see this in action. You had some really cool examples in the notes. Let's start with Excel, because data analysis can be a real headache for a lot of people.
It can. So imagine you've got a big sales report and you need to see how things are trending. Copilot can suggest the right formulas to calculate things like, revenue growth, profit margins, all those key metrics.
Okay, that's helpful.
But it doesn't just stop there. It can also create those visual representations of the data, like charts and graphs, that make it much easier to understand what's going on. You had this great example of the before Copilot versus after Copilot
Oh,
scenario.
yeah, where it's like before Copilot, you're manually typing out those complex formulas,
Yeah.
trying to show sales growth for Q1, and it's a whole thing.
Right. But with Copilot, you just say, hey, show me sales growth for Q1, and boom, it generates a clear, visually appealing report in seconds.
That's such a time saver.
And then let's move over to Word. Say you're working on that big project report. Copilot can suggest those essential sections you need to include, like the introduction, the objectives, the key findings, all of that.
Okay, that's useful.
It's like having a virtual project manager built in. And then it can also function as a really sophisticated editor. It can suggest improvements to your sentences, making them clearer, more impactful.
So, kind of like a grammar checker on steroids.
In a way, yes. Much more advanced, though. And then for those really long, dense documents, the ones that make your eyes glaze over.
Oh, I know those well.
Right. Copilot can automatically generate a summary for you. Like you just say, hey, summarize this report in 200 words, and it does it. No more skimming and trying to pull out the key points yourself.
That's a game changer for anyone who has to deal with a lot of long documents.
I think so. And then let's not forget about PowerPoint. Presentations can be such a time suck, but Copilot can really streamline the process.
Okay, tell me how.
Well, it can build entire slides based on your prompts. Like you give it a text description and it'll create the slide with the appropriate content, layout, visuals, even bullet points.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You had an example in your notes. Create 5 slides explaining our marketing goals for 2025. And from that simple prompt, Copilot can generate a visually appealing, informative presentation.
That's incredible. I can see how this would be huge for anyone who does a lot of presentations.
Absolutely. So when we think about who Microsoft Copilot is for, it's pretty clear. Office workers, data analysts, anyone who lives in the Microsoft 365 world.
It's all about making their lives easier within those tools they're already using.
Exactly. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about our third AI assistant, Heartbeat AI. This one takes a totally different approach. It's all about the human element in communication, especially when it comes to interacting with customers.
Oh, interesting. So kind of like taking AI and using it to build better relationships.
That's a good way to put it. Heartbeat AI, it's all about understanding and responding to emotions. It can actually analyze the emotions in customer conversations, which is pretty remarkable. And then, based on that analysis, it can suggest smart, empathetic responses.
Okay, I'm picturing if a customer's really frustrated, it can pick up on that and suggest a response that's calming and understanding.
Exactly, you're getting it. And it also provides insights into customer behavior, helps support teams, give better real-time assistance. It's all about bringing more empathy into business communication, basically.
I like that. It seems like we could all use a bit more empathy in our interactions, right?
Absolutely. And the examples you found really bring this to life. Think about those customer support interactions, Someone sends an email or a chat message and they're clearly upset.
Yeah, I've been there. Where's my order? Why is
Yeah.
this taking so long?
Exactly. So say the message is something like, I am so frustrated, my package is delayed, and nobody has updated me.
Oh, I can feel the frustration just reading that.
Right. So Heartbeat AI can analyze that message, identify that the customer is frustrated, and then suggest a response that's both helpful and empathetic, like, we're so sorry for the delay. Our team is looking into this right now, and we'll give you an update within 24 hours. We appreciate your patience.
See, that's way better than just like, your order is delayed, we'll let you know when it ships.
It makes a huge difference. And it's not just for support either. Think about sales conversations. Maybe someone is considering buying a car, but they're hesitant. They say something like, I'm not sure if this car is really right for my family. We need something reliable and spacious.
Makes sense. Big decision.
So, Heartbeat AI can pick up on that uncertainty, and it can suggest a response that builds trust and addresses their specific concerns. Something like, our SUV model is actually designed with families in mind. It's got plenty of space, top-rated safety features, and a really great track record for reliability. Would you be open to taking it for a test drive to see how it fits your needs?
Okay, that's smart. You're not just pushing the sale, you're actually listening to their concerns and offering a solution.
Exactly. And it can even help with social media interactions. Let's say someone leaves a really positive comment on your company's page. Something like, your product is amazing. It's completely changed my life.
Oh, we love those comments.
Right. So Heartbeat AI can detect that positive sentiment, and it can suggest a reply that reinforces that connection. Something as simple as, we're so happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
It's all about making those interactions feel more human, less robotic.
Precisely. So if you're managing customer service, sales, social media, Heartbeat AI is all about helping you build those stronger relationships grounded in empathy.
Okay, so we've got these three very different AI assistants on the table. I
Yeah.
think it's really helpful to summarize their key differences. You had a really good table in your notes comparing their features.
Yeah, that might be helpful. Let's break it down.
Perfect. So first off, let's talk about their main purpose. What's each one really built for?
Okay, so Genius.AI, it's all about writing, brainstorming, crafting content. That's its sweet spot.
Okay, writing. Got it.
Microsoft Copilot, it's all about productivity within those Microsoft 365 apps, making you more efficient with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of that.
Productivity. Makes
Mhm.
sense. And Heartbeat AI.
Heartbeat AI is focused on customer communication, understanding emotions, building relationships.
Okay, customer communication.
Yeah.
So very different focuses. Now, based on that, who would each tool be best for?
Genius.AI, it's a great fit for bloggers, students, anyone who does a lot of writing, especially if they're creating content.
Okay, so writers and content creators.
Microsoft Copilot, it's
Yeah.
really designed for office workers, data analysts, business professionals who are heavily reliant on those Microsoft
The
tools.
Microsoft Power users.
Exactly. And Heartbeat AI, it's perfect for anyone who's dealing with customers. Customer support teams, sales teams, social media managers, anyone in those roles.
Customer-facing roles. Got it.
Now, another key difference is their approach to automation.
Okay, so how much do they automate and what kinds of tasks?
So Genius.AI, its automation is all about those writing and content creation tasks. It helps you generate ideas, write better sentences, structure your content, all of that.
Okay, so writing automation.
Microsoft Copilot, it automates a much wider range of things. Formulas in Excel, creating slides in PowerPoint, summarizing documents in Word, lots of different stuff.
So kind of all-around automation within Microsoft 365.
That's it. And then Heartbeat AI, its automation is more focused on those customer interactions, like suggesting the best replies based on the customer's emotions and the context of the conversation.
Okay, so communication automation, but with that emotional intelligence layer.
You got it.
Yeah.
And speaking of emotional intelligence, that's another key difference between these tools.
Yeah, you mentioned that Heartbeat AI is really focused on that, but what about the other two?
Genius.AI, it doesn't really have much in terms of emotional analysis. It's more focused on the language itself, not so much the emotions behind it.
Makes sense. And Microsoft Copilot.
It's starting to incorporate some aspects of emotional intelligence, but it's still early days. It's not as sophisticated as Heartbeat AI in that regard.
Got it. So Heartbeat AI is really the one that's leading the charge on that front.
It is. Now, another interesting point of comparison is how these tools learn.
Okay, so can they get better over time? Do they adapt to how you use them?
Yeah, that's a key part of AI. So Genius.AI, it learns from your writing style. The more you use it, the better it gets at suggesting things that are relevant to you.
So it's like it's getting to know you as a writer.
Exactly. Microsoft Copilot, it learns from your patterns of usage within those Microsoft apps, like what kinds of documents you create, how you use formulas in Excel, things like that.
So it's becoming more tailored to your specific workflow.
That's right. And then Heartbeat AI, it learns from customer interactions. It starts to understand how different customers communicate, what kinds of responses are most effective, all of that.
So it's getting smarter about how to handle those customer relationships.
You got it. And then finally, let's talk about integration. How do these tools fit into the existing tech landscape?
Good question. Are they standalone or do they work with other platforms?
So Genius.AI, it's primarily a standalone platform. You use it on its own.
Okay, standalone.
Microsoft Copilot, as we've discussed, it's deeply integrated into Microsoft 365. That's its whole thing.
Right, part of the Microsoft ecosystem.
Yeah.
And Heartbeat AI.
Heartbeat AI is designed to connect with other systems, like those CRM platforms that businesses use to manage customer relationships.
Okay, so it's kind of like plugging it into your existing customer communications setup.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, that's a really good overview of the key differences.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's helpful to bring this back to some real-life scenarios. You had a section in your notes called Summary of Real-Life Applications.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It really clarifies when you'd use each tool.
Exactly. So let's walk through a few of those.
Sounds good.
Okay, first scenario, writing blog posts.
For blog posts, Genius.AI is your go-to tool. It'll help you brainstorm ideas, structure your post, make your writing more engaging. Microsoft Copilot and Heartbeat AI, they're not really designed for that kind of content creation.
Got it. So Genius.AI for the
Yeah.
bloggers out there.
Yep. Now, what about email marketing?
Email marketing, yeah, lots of people use that.
Genius.ai can definitely help there too. Writing the emails, coming up with subject lines, crafting calls to action.
Okay, so it's still a good fit.
It is. Heartbeat AI could also be useful, but in a different way. Like, if you get customer inquiries through email, Heartbeat AI can help you write those really thoughtful, empathetic responses.
Makes sense. Different strengths for different aspects of email.
Right. Now, how about academic writing?
Oh, yeah, lots of students out there struggling with essays and papers.
I know. So Genius.ai can be a big help with that, improving sentence clarity, organizing their thoughts, that sort of thing.
So still a good fit for the academic world.
It is. Microsoft Copilot can also be helpful with academic writing, but more on the organization and summarization side. Like, if you've got a huge research paper, Copilot can help you pull out the key points.
Got it. So it kind of depends what aspect of academic writing you're struggling with.
Right. Now let's switch gears to something more data heavy. Data analysis.
Oh, yeah, that's where a lot of people get lost.
It can be. So for data analysis, specifically within Excel, Microsoft Copilot is the clear winner. It can automate those complex formulas, help you visualize the data, make it way easier to understand what's going on.
Okay, so Copilot for the data nerds.
Pretty much. Genius.ai and Heartbeat AI, they're not really built for that kind of thing.
Makes sense. What about creating presentations?
Presentations, yeah, another one that can be time-consuming. Again, Microsoft Copilot is the best tool for that. Building slides, adding visuals, all from simple text prompts.
So Copilot, it's like the ultimate presentation assistant.
It really is. Genius.ai and Heartbeat AI don't really offer those kinds of features.
Okay, so we've covered writing, data analysis, presentations. Now let's talk about those customer-facing roles like customer support and sales.
All right, so for customer support, Heartbeat AI is the star of the show. It's all about understanding those customer emotions, suggesting the best replies, making those interactions feel truly human.
So Heartbeat AI, it's like your empathy coach.
Exactly.
Oh.
Genius.ai and Microsoft Copilot, they can be helpful in other ways, but they don't have that same level of emotional intelligence.
Makes sense. And what about sales?
Same thing for sales. Heartbeat AI can really help you connect with potential customers on a deeper level, build trust, tailor your approach to their needs.
Okay, so it's not just about closing the deal, it's about building that relationship.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. I'm sure our listeners thinking, okay, great, but which tool is right for me? Can we give them some guidance on how to choose?
Definitely. I think it boils down to a few key questions.
Okay, shoot.
First, what are your primary goals? What are you trying to accomplish?
So really clear on what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Second, what kinds of tasks do you do most often? Are you writing all day,
No.
analyzing data, interacting with customers?
Figure out where you spend most of your time.
Right. And then third, what platforms and tools are you already using? Are you a Microsoft 365 diehard, or are you using something else entirely?
Understand your existing tech ecosystem.
Exactly. So if you're all about writing and content creation and you want a tool that's easy to use and specifically designed for that, then Genius.ai is probably your best bet.
Okay, so Genius.ai for the writers and content creators.
Yep. If you're living in Microsoft 365 all day and you want to be more productive with those tools, then Microsoft Copilot is a great choice.
So Copilot for the Microsoft power users.
Right. And if your focus is on customer communication and you want to build those stronger, more empathetic relationships, then Heartbeat AI is the tool for you.
Heartbeat AI for the customer champions.
That's it. And to bring it back to those real life examples we talked about, remember that student who's struggling with their essay?
Yeah.
Genius.AI could help them write a killer introduction. Or that person who's drowning in spreadsheets. Microsoft Copilot could automate those formulas and make the data much easier to understand. And that customer who's fuming about their delayed order, Heartbeat AI could help you write a response that calms them down and makes them feel heard.
It's all about using the right tool for the right job.
Exactly. Now, of course, every tool has its pros and cons.
Right. Nothing's perfect.
Exactly. So let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of each tool based on what you've gathered.
Okay, let's start with Genius.AI. What are the main pros and cons there?
Well, the big pros are that it's really good at what it does. Content creation, brainstorming, it excels at that. It's also very user-friendly. And it's a good value for the price, especially for writers, bloggers, students.
Okay, so strong on content, easy to use, good price. What about the cons?
The main cons are that it's not really built for business data analysis,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have that emotional analysis component that Heartbeat AI has.
Okay, so not for the number crunchers or the customer empathy folks.
Right.
All right, what about Microsoft Copilot? Pros and cons.
Pros, seamless integration with Microsoft 365, which is huge if you're already using those tools. It can automate a ton of tasks, which can save you a lot of time. And it's really powerful, especially for those data analysis tasks in Excel.
Okay, so efficiency, power, deep integration. Cons.
The main con is that you need a Microsoft 365 subscription to use it. And it's really focused on that Microsoft ecosystem. If you're not using those tools, it's not going to be much use to you.
So it's kind of a Microsoft-only world with that one.
Pretty much.
All right, and finally, Heartbeat AI. Pros and cons.
Rose, great for customer support and sales teams. It's really good at understanding emotions and can help you improve customer satisfaction.
So all about those customer relationships.
That's it. Cons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for content creation, and it might require a bit of training to get the most out of it.
Okay, so you got to be ready to invest some time to learn how to use it properly.
You do. Now, I know we covered a lot, but there are probably some lingering questions out there. You actually had a really good FAQ section in your notes.
Oh yeah, those are always helpful. Let's address a few of those.
Okay, one common question is, can you use these tools together?
Yeah, good question. Can you, mix and match?
Absolutely. You can totally use them together. In fact, a lot of people do. Maybe you use Genius.AI for content creation, Microsoft Copilot for your everyday office tasks, and Heartbeat AI for customer interactions.
So kind of like building your own custom AI toolkit.
Exactly. Another common question is, how much does Microsoft Copilot cost?
Yeah, I bet people are wondering about that.
It's not a separate product. It's included with a Microsoft 365 subscription. So if you're already paying for that, you're good to go.
Okay, so it's part of that whole package. What about Heartbeat AI? Does it work with the platforms that people are already using for customer communication?
It does. It's designed to integrate with those chat platforms and CRM systems that businesses are already using.
So it fits into your existing workflows.
Exactly. And then one last question that comes up a lot is, which tool is easiest to use for beginners?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Genius. AI is generally considered very user-friendly, especially if you're focused on improving your writing.
Okay, so Genius.AI, for those just dipping their toes in the AI waters.
Right. Microsoft Copilot is also pretty easy to pick up, especially if you're already familiar with those Microsoft apps.
So it depends on your comfort level with technology in general.
That's a good point.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final thoughts for our listener before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think the big takeaway here is that there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best AI tool really depends on your specific needs and goals.
It's all about figuring out what works best for you.
Exactly. And it's exciting to think about how these tools will continue to evolve. AI is changing so rapidly. Who knows what incredible new capabilities we'll see in the future?
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is.
Well, we hope this deep dive has given you a much clearer understanding of Genius.AI, Microsoft Copilot, and Heartbeat AI. If you have any more questions or if there are other topics you'd like us to explore, please leave a comment below.
Absolutely. We love hearing from you.
And don't forget to follow and subscribe to The Deep Dive for more deep dives into the world of information and technology.
We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.